Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of the new book. It's actually out, Twin Flame Romance, A Journey to Unconditional Love. You can order the book with me for an author signed copy. You can order it on Kindle directly or paperback via Amazon as well. Now, if you order it with me and you do it within the next 24 hours, because I'm going to be ordering the bulk order, and author copies are delivered differently than when you get on Amazon. Of course, you can get it through Amazon Prime in 2 days. However, the way they do the authors get it wholesale, it must come from a different warehouse. So it's going to take a little bit longer to get to you guys, but the best part of it is you can have a dedicated copy to yourself, to somebody else. And also I have a deal for $40. You can get a copy of Twin Flame Romance and Chakra Healing for Vibrant Energy. Those books really do go hand in hand. And you get a free audiobook for one of my Audible audiobooks as well. So you'll get 3 for the price of 2 because you get free shipping, you get the author signed copies, and $55 will get you 2 copies of Twin Flame Romance, 1 copy of Chakra Healing, plus the Audible book as well. So, and you get it all shipped to you. Now, the shipping is included for the United States. It's not included for international shipping. For those of you that have ordered via international, I will, as soon as I have the weight of the book or books that you've ordered, and I will email you with the additional fees for international shipping as well. International shipping is crazy, even to Canada. So that's my first bit of news. Second bit of news, such good news, is that I'm doing this full-time now. So full-time author, speaker, YouTuber, and readers, and among other things, workshops, Twin Flame live events that I'm going to be doing starting in October. So just next month in Los Angeles, we're going to do a live event, and to be announced. But if you are excited, and it's going to be low cost to you guys, it's not going to be too high cost. It's going to be like a 3-hour seminar in the evening, probably on a Sunday evening in South Bay, which is south of Los Angeles, a little more affordable if you guys want to come in and stay, or drive in if you live on the West Coast. And then you can just stay at a hotel, take the next day off work, but just stay at a low price. So I'm trying to keep the prices really low for the event, and more of that to come. In addition, if you want a Twin Flame reading, Twin Flame coaching, as well as Twin Flame readings, I am doing those pretty much full time now. But even with the writing, YouTube, all of the above, I really only have time to do about 8 to 10 readings per week. Once they're filled for the week, they're filled for the week. I have to keep myself on target and on schedule. I am really, having been self-employed before, I'm really strict about my schedule. So, I have to have time to work out. I have to have time to take care of myself. And also other clients that I have as well, not only doing the readings, but doing other client appointments as well as keeping these videos out for you guys. So this is my newest series. It's called Twin Flame Daily Inspiration. This is the first one. Now I say daily inspiration, it might be daily every other day or every third day. So I'm just going to number the daily inspirations as numbers 1, 2, 3, etc., not putting a date on them. Because of course, any time in this twin flame journey where you are feeling really lonely, because it is a lonely journey, you guys, you know this, you know how like crazy it sounds, you know how bizarre a lot of the experiences are. And of course, that's all included in Twin Flame Romance, my new book. And it's not a work of it's not a first person story, if you will. There are bits and pieces of my story embedded into the book, but it's really like the collectivity. It's what I've channeled from what the angels want me to tell you guys about the twin flame journey, and also kind of like a compilation of everything that we've talked about on this YouTube channel as well. So instead of like watching the videos over and over and over again, you can order the book and then get out a highlighter and like highlight this stuff so that you can review it and go back to it, especially when you feel like you're not in your right mind, which most of us can feel like a lot of the time during this journey. So the Daily Inspirations series, which will be under its own playlist, the Twin Flame Daily Inspirations, is really going to be like inspirational quotes. And I have a quote today. What is happening with me on my Twin Flame journey, some epiphanies that I've had for the day. It's going to be relatively short. This video, this first one might be a little bit longer just because I'm explaining what the trajectory of it is, but I don't want others to feel lonely on this journey. It can feel very lonely. It can feel very isolating. It can be really hard since there are people on your path that you can't talk to about this. A lot of times you guys are in sticky situations with your twin flame where they might be married, or they might live in another country, another culture, another language, or it might be a forbidden romance in some way where, just any scenario that you can imagine where things just might not be so cohesive, and the way you're feeling it with that person is cohesive, but the rest of society is not seeing it as a cohesive match. We all know what we actually endure during this journey to twin flame reunion, but not everybody can understand it. And so I was going through a lot this past week. I had a lot of life transitions and just things happening, and there was a point at which I really felt it. I felt like I hadn't reached out to you guys. I hadn't been in the twin flame community online in a while, and I really felt that disconnect, and I felt that I need you guys as much as you need me on this forum, because we really need to stick together, and we really need to cheer each other on along this journey and not look for problems, but look for solutions. And really that's what this is all about. So the quote for today, and I'll have it right up here, and you guys should not see me for a second, but you should see the quote, is "Spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier." And that is Mother Teresa. And actually, I found this quote in a Starbucks. And it was actually the Starbucks that I would go to pick up my morning coffee before heading to work. So I saw it once up there, and it's still up there, I think, at the Starbucks. But I love Mother Teresa. I quote Mother Teresa all the time, as well as like a few others. Rumi, the poet Rumi, is one, and I'll infuse a lot of Rumi quotes. But this really got me to thinking and about the concept of feeling lonely on this journey, is that a lot of times when you feel isolated or lonely, it can bring you back into that victim mindset that we talk about when we talk about releasing codependency, releasing those ego-based types of relationships that keep you in this victim mindset, really, like that whatever is happening in your twin flame journey, or in your life in general, but whatever's happening in your twin flame journey is kind of like spinning out of control for you, and you can feel like you are a victim to it versus feeling like you have a handle on it or you have control over it. And that's not actually true. There are many things on this journey that can feel as if you do not have control, but other things that you have direct control over. So you have direct control over how you treat people. You have direct control over how you perceive a situation. So if you perceive a situation as somebody doing something to you, or a situation happening to you versus the situation happening for you, it's a different perspective, right? People come into your life so that it brings about lessons that are for you, not necessarily happening to you. When I'm able to divulge, if you will, my story and my trajectory, and as far as a lot of the things that have happened in the past several months in my story, from the outside, you could look at that and go, oh my gosh, like really, like all this stuff kept happening, and these things were happening that seemed beyond your control. These things where people were coming out in ways that were not honorable and upright and with integrity. And it could look like, from that outside perspective, that I was in a victim position to this happening. And what I chose to look at, what I really chose to look at, and it was a harder perspective to look at, it was a much, much harder perspective to look at, was these things were happening for me, not to me. These people were coming out and acting in ways that were less than honorable for my greater good. And it's really difficult to look at it from that perspective, but I always believe that God has a plan. And since God always has a plan, even the crappy stuff that happens to you is always going to happen for your good. There's always going to be, I don't even like to use the word silver lining. I don't fully understand that expression. I don't believe that clouds actually have silver linings. I believe they have more like bright yellow light linings. So, but I really believe that God brings us these situations, circumstances, events, and people so that we can lift ourselves higher in the response to what is going on. So we can really, truly look at things from a greater perspective. And so that's what I have had to do over the past several months. Of course, things like this have happened my entire life, but my life has not been an easy ride, guys. I kind of feel, and Joel Osteen, who's, a preacher, you haven't heard him, he's great. But he says, like, the darker or the deeper the hole, the greater your destiny. So God would put people in these terrible, terrible situations that were his messengers, that were his prophets, because it was kind of like, it was a training ground for them. It was a training ground for the tenacity, the strength, the moral compass that they had to go through, so that when he really sent them the big lesson, the big test, that they could withstand it. Because if he didn't do that, he didn't put them in that training ground where they were under so much pressure that they had to learn these mini lessons in order to have the greatest and biggest one, they wouldn't have been able to handle the greatest and biggest one. And so I really believe that, thank you, God, but I have been through tons and tons and tons and tons of trials and tribulations in my life, and it's always been an uphill battle. I've never had it easy. It's never been a smooth sailing ride for me. Never, ever in my whole entire life. Never, 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 never. I'm kind of waiting for that moment. I hope that moment comes sometime soon, but my life has always been an uphill battle. And I really believe that if God has blessed me with this YouTube channel, if God has blessed me with being able to write these books, if God has blessed me with being able to follow my dreams, it is only because he put all this crap in my way. That is the only reason. Circling back to the twin flame journey and what you might be feeling today in this particular moment, that you feel as if you were in an impossible situation with your twin flame. And you feel like there is no way we can overcome this. There's no way, that the obstacles are too big, too great. And why am I suffering because of this? Why am I suffering when I see the light? My twin doesn't see the light. And why are these obstacles so big? It feels terrible. And why do I have to be a part of this? So first of all, you don't have to be a part of this. You chose this, okay? God chose this for you, and you chose this as a soul contract with your twin before you even came here. So just because you don't remember doesn't mean you did not choose it. Of course you chose it. So you and your twin both chose this particular soul contract together. In addition to choosing the soul contract together, you also chose your obstacles to overcome. So because you chose this soul contract, God also gave you a set of obstacles to overcome to help you for the bigger lesson. Okay? Just like all the prophets in the Bible, all the messengers of God, everybody. He chose not only the person that has the other half of your soul, but he also chose the obstacles, which you helped him choose. So that's the second part. And the third part, and the best part, is God also gave you the solutions to the obstacles that you and your twin would go through. Within the confines of the soul contract are the solutions. It's just sitting back and allowing yourself to look at the terms of the contract in a different perspective, so that you feel better prepared to be able to come to the solution for your reunion with your twin. And that is the most important aspect of this, is that once you put yourself in the victim mindset, you're giving your control over to something else, or you're giving your control over to someone else. It's super duper important that you don't give your control over to something or someone, but that you retain your control. And by retaining your control, you understand a few things. You understand that you have free will. You understand that you made this choice. And you understand that with the free will and with the choice that you can always walk away. So you're always in control of your decisions. Okay? Now, God ultimately knows what decisions you will make, but you're still given the choice to make those decisions, the when and where and how. So just know that. So if you're feeling in that victim mindset, if you're feeling why me, if you're feeling like I don't want to spread the love, I want people to understand my suffering, then you're in a phase in which you're not reaching your highest potential. So it's okay to be in that victim mindset for a little bit. It's okay. Like, you can give yourself an hour, give yourself a minute, give yourself a day, and you can just hole up in your room or whatever and just cry it out and just have a moment and just allow yourself to feel. But after that, on this journey, it's best if you just remove yourself from that mindset and put yourself in a different perspective and say, this is happening for me, not to me. And a way in which I can show my gratitude for having that free will choice, in order to show the gratitude that I have the choice, I'm going to choose to live from the perspective of love. And as I begin to live from that perspective of love, I'm going to leave love as a trail behind me, so that when I leave a situation, all that people see is this trail of hearts behind me, this trail of light behind me, this trail of love behind me, that they see nothing else but that. So I hope that was inspirational for your first daily inspiration video. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Hit the bell for notifications. Please share this video with other twin flames, and thank you for buying a book or 2 or 3 and/or pledging your support on Patreon, www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin, and I will see you in the next video.